Now, I hand over to you, Mr. Tarik, to conduct the session, and I thank you all.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Adnan, for this kind introduction, and I'd like to welcome you all to this first technical session of the 70th edition of the International Ministerial Conference on South-South Cooperation and Population and Development. As Mr. Adnan mentioned, the session will be focusing on the following topic: implementation of the Nairobi Commitments for South-South Cooperation in the post-COVID-19 era. And we have a very distinguished speakers to discuss this topic, important topic. So I'd like just to start off with some housekeeping announcement. Panelists are kindly invited to share the PowerPoint presentation, if any, through screen share option of the Zoom link. And the participants are also invited to share their comments and questions through the comments option of the Zoom link. There will be at the end 30 minutes for Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Interpretation is available in English, French, and Spanish, and participants are kindly invited to select their preferred language channel from the interpretation button available at the bottom of your Zoom screen. And I'd like to start by commending partners in population and development, UNFPA, and the National Health Commission of China for this initiative in organizing this important annual international meeting in order to advance population and development goals, and more specifically, reproductive health and rights through the modality of South-South cooperation. This inter-ministerial conference is taking place as we celebrate the first anniversary of the Nairobi Summit, which emphasized the role of South-South cooperation in accelerating the achievement of the objective of the ICPD Plan of Action, the SDGs on population and development through revitalized partnerships, as well as political and financial commitment from a variety of partners. The UN Office of South-South Cooperation is very delighted to be associated with this international conference, focusing on the role of South-South cooperation to deliver on the Nairobi Commitment on productive health and population goals. And as you may know, the UN Office of South-South Cooperation is the UN focal point for the promotion and facilitation of South-South cooperation globally and within the United Nations system. And last year, the second high-level United Nations Conference on South-South Cooperation took place in Buenos Aires, as Mr. Adnan emphasized in his opening remarks. The conference adopted a forward-looking outcome that emphasized the increasing role and contribution of South-South and triangular cooperation for the achievement of the SDGs. And one of the most important aspects of South-South cooperation is its contribution to enhancing the capacities of developing countries to address their development challenges. And this is very relevant in the context of the population and development agenda, and more specifically in the area of reproductive health and right and family planning. Countries of the South have indeed accumulated considerable experience and expertise in reproductive health and services, and can boost each other's capacities through technical assistance and the sharing of experiences and knowledge. The COVID-19 pandemic and its multifaceted consequences, social, economic, and others, started to reverse many of the SDGs achievements, including the ICPD goals and the SDGs on population and development. And one of the consequences of the pandemic is that we have observed a trend toward less access to productive health and services, and a rise in domestic violence. And I think that there is a need to double the effort at the national and international level in order to bring back on track the achievement of the population and development goals, including those related to reproductive health. But I have to emphasize that even during the pandemic, countries of the South continued supporting each other's effort to fight the pandemic and its social economic fallout, despite the fact that they are facing similar challenges. And one of the main lessons that we have learned from this pandemic is that we are living in a very interdependent world, and there is no way we can overcome it and to overcome this crisis without close cooperation, coordination, and solidarity. Our webinar of today that brings together different partners of the South is a good example how we can foster the exchange and the sharing of ideas, experiences, and knowledge to better understand and partner with each other to effectively tackle this pandemic, its fallout, especially on the population and development agenda based on the Nairobi Summit commitment. Our distinguished keynote speaker and distinguished panelists will share with us today their insight, ideas, analysis from different perspectives about how the pandemic is impacting the realization of the ICPD Program of Action, the SDGs, and the Nairobi Summit commitment. And most importantly, they will renew their pledge toward the implementation of the Nairobi Commitment. We would also like to hear from our distinguished speakers about potential solutions and initiatives that will allow South-Southern Triangular Cooperation to play its role in contributing to overcome the current challenges in the areas of productive health and the population and development goals.